Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is your host Majestic speaking with another episode of MechWarrior Online. In front of me I have the brand new Inner Sphere Assault 90-ton battle mech, the Cyclops, and in particular I'm going to be taking out the Sleipnir, or Sleipnir if you want to pronounce it a little differently. And as I do with all the videos, on the first day of the release I like to take out the hero variant just to show you guys something a little bit unique, a little different than you might not already be seeing out there on the battlefield with all the other variants of the Cyclops that are released. So I wanted to take this one out for you guys as a little bit of a special edition. This is a 100% completely custom mech. It is also 100% completely mastered. So you're going to see it from an optimal standpoint where this thing is fully loaded to the T with a custom loadout, a custom build, and all the modules, quirks, and everything are pretty much already set. So you're going to see everything from an optimal standpoint, and I hope to deliver, just another perspective, another way for you guys to think about this mech if you don't have it already. If you do have it already, maybe another way that you want to build it. But as we go through this video, we're going to dive into the nitty-gritty so that you guys understand exactly what you're getting if you decide to go out and actually get this mech for yourselves. So first things first, we're going to go through the hard points, the loadout itself, the quirks, one round of gameplay, and then close with some final thoughts for you guys. So without further ado, let's pop right into the garage here and check out the quirk list. Now this only has one weapon quirk. Very, very surprising, and it's not very good. I mean it's something, but it's not something that I'm really going to take into consideration when building this mech out. It only has a Gauss rifle cooldown of 5%. That's not much when you think about it in context, and when you look at the hard points that this thing has to work with, 4 ballistic hard points, 4 energy hard points, 1 missile hard point, 1 AMS hard point, and 0 ECM hard points. The rest of the quirks cater towards acceleration and deceleration, structures, and crit hit chance, receiving, bonus of 5%, and then sensor range of 150 meters. So this thing has some unique quirks, but nothing really that caters towards one specific, type of weapon that you'd want to build this thing around, or multiple weapon groups that you might want to build this thing around and take into consideration. So one thing I do want to point out that makes this particular variant so unique, it's the only variant out of all of the Cyclops that have been released with 4 ballistic hard points. It's also the only variant that has a energy hard point in the head. No other variant has this. So, take this stuff into consideration if this is the type of mech that you actually want to go out there and get for yourselves. If you decide to go out and get it, those are pretty unique points to bring up. And not only are those unique, from this fact of, you have 4 ballistics versus the rest of the variants that have a maximum of 3 and that hard point in the head, but this is the only variant that utilizes ballistic hard points in both torsos. All of the other variants only utilize the right torso, whereas this is the only variant that utilizes both the left and right torso. Now, as you can see, I did not cater to, right off the bat, you could see I didn't cater to that Gauss rifle quirk of 5%. It's not very, useful, from the stance of like, wow, that's really going to help me if I use that weapon group. So I decided to go 100% completely custom. This kind of left me with a blank slate, and that's exactly what I decided to do with it. So hopefully you guys can appreciate it from that perspective. But let's dive right into the loadout. So I stripped everything off of it. I took the XL360 engine that it had in it, and I put in a standard 300. So this thing is, as I said before, completely mastered, but with a standard 300, it's only going 58 kph, so it does run a little slow, but, because of that, I'm able to fit a lot more, with it, and it is an assault mech, so you're not trying to blaze across the battlefield by any means, but given the loadout that I wanted to place on it, this fits perfectly. So I have a triple UAC 5 setup, and I could go quad UAC 5s, strip the left arm of armor, and then only be left with 2 mediums, quad UAC 5, and then, the ammo and everything in there, working its way in. But then you also have to take into consideration you cannot use an XL engine and fit a quad UAC 5. So just, take that, for, as it stands. Even with with a triple UAC 5, you cannot use an XL engine. So I wanted to go with a standard engine, make sure this thing was a little bit more durable, especially if I'm going to apply a lot of armor to the top half of this mech. So that's exactly what I did. I went triple UAC 5, and I placed a machine gun in there first on the left torso, and the reason I did that, in case you guys don't understand exactly why that's there, is when you place the machine gun in first and then the UAC-5 second, that places the UAC-5 at the top slot, so the top left torso hard point, as opposed to the bottom slot. So if I only placed the UAC-5 in there, it would only occupy the bottom slot. And if I took the machine gun out now, you would see this UAC-5 drop to the bottom slot. So you do have to actually keep this machine gun in there if you want to make sure that you have that UAC-5 in the top left slot of your left torso. Now, I also added 4 medium lasers. I did utilize that head energy hardpoint, the 2 in the left arm, or the 2 in the right arm and the 1 in the left arm. And as you can see, I filled out the legs with ammo, I filled out the center torso with an SRM-4 and another ton of ammo, and then I obviously had to use case because I had some extra tonnage, so I put in the SRM ammo here, and another ton of UAC-5 ammo, so I placed the case around it to protect everything, all the components and everything in here, so it is completely safe and sound. And the reason why I stripped out some armor from the legs is because of the fact that, well, with an assault, that's not the primary component that any of your opponents are focusing on. You're an assault mech. They're going to go for, you know, the components that are dealing the damage. So the torsos, even the arms. Now, I completely filled this thing out with armor from the top half up. The only 30 hard points of armor missing are coming from the legs. So this thing is completely full to the brim with armor where it matters most. And that is where we are dealing the damage, all up here. So since we know that no one's going to be focusing really on the legs anyway, we wanted to make sure that this was beefed up, and our legs are pretty much protected anyway. I mean, there's 61 points of armor in each leg, so that's definitely something that I took into consideration when building this thing out, is making sure if I did do a triple UAC-5 build that, you know, I wanted to make sure that I placed all the armor in the leg so that it was protected. And I didn't want to go with the quad UAC-5 because, I mean, the Mauler kind of already takes that space. It has the quad UAC-4 positioning and everything in there. Even the 5 AC5 build, this doesn't have 5 ballistic hard points or anything. So I wanted to make this kind of unique. Utilize these unique hard points, show you guys a pretty awesome build to take out there on the battlefield, especially for the first day. This is the first day that I've actually even tinkered and tampered with this thing, and I'm having an absolute blast with it. So I decided that I was going to stick with it for the intents and purposes of the video. 90 out of 90 tons are filled, 77 out of 78 slots are filled. As I said before, 528 out of 558 armor is filled, 1.21 out of 2 heat management ratio, obviously above that minimum heat threshold that I like to keep of 1.2, 13 double heat sinks, including 10 in the engine, 2 on top of the engine, and then 1 in the left torso. It has a 47.5 point alpha, and it goes, as I mentioned before, 58.1 kph with speed tweak. Now, this is definitely, I guess, from on the positive side, although that standard engine does cost a lot more in tonnage, it also makes it so that if we lose a torso or any of those primary components, in other words, that we're not necessarily dead. We still have another half of our loadout to work with, and we can still navigate our way out there on the battlefield. So it's pretty much just consolidating that engine with some extra weight, as opposed to the XL where, you know, if you lose a torso, I would have automatically been dead. So that's the way that I wanted to approach this. I knew that as a 90-ton inner sphere assault mech, you know, I wasn't going to be going fast anyway. You know, and I knew that from the get-go. So I kind of already decided, all right, I'm going with a standard engine, and I'm going to make sure this thing is packing some serious firepower. And with those triple UAC-5s just constantly chewing through the ammo, this thing could add up a lot of damage very quickly. And at short range, coupling those UAC-5s with 4 medium lasers and an SRM-4, I mean, it doesn't sound like it would, like those would, amplify damage that much, but trust me, they absolutely do. So before we go into the one round of gameplay, let's just check out the modules really quick. I decided to go with radar deprivation as a very slow assault mech. Once I dip out of cover, I want to be completely out of sight. I do not want anyone to have any kind of targeting information on me, any lerm boating, you know, targeting me or anything like that, and losing components, armor, or anything. So I decided to stick with radar deprivation. UAC-5 cooldown. level 5. So that gives me a bonus of 12% on the cooldown. And with 3 of them churning through the ammo, you might get a couple that will jam, but at least it allows at least, 1, maybe 2 to keep firing at the same time if you want to constantly lay down some suppressive fire. And I also coupled that with another weapon module of the medium laser cooldown. Now this thing does have a 1.21 heat management ratio, so if I, for instance, if my UACs do get jammed, those medium lasers, they'll cool down a lot faster so that I can keep churning out the DPS on any opponents who might be in front of me without having to sacrifice any kind of stall where they could get some shots off on me, regain their composure. I'm shooting ballistics and missiles into the cockpit, so it's their entire cockpit is shaking, and I do not want to give them much of an opportunity to regain their focus, regain their aim, and ultimately deliver any kind of blows to any component of my mech. So I decided that I wanted to go with the cooldown for both the UAC 5s and the medium laser. The last mech weapon module that I decided to go with is target info gathering, and the reason why I decided to go with that is because obviously as an assault mech, you're pretty much at the front lines, especially with this kind of build. You want to be towards the front, helping lay down the fire, help your team get into a better position so that you can capitalize on taking down your opponents. So by gathering information on any target that's in front of you and laying down that fire, critting out some components, getting those killing blows, that's what this thing is really going to be meant to do up there on the front lines, especially with this kind of brawly to mid-range kind of approach that it has. So definitely an awesome mech from looking at it, from the initial perspective that we have here. And along with the consumables that I placed on there, Cool Shot 9x9 and the improved UAV. The reason why I wanted to go with the improved UAV is because in case we're getting flanked or something like that, instead of using advanced seismic sensor, which I usually do like to use, I wanted to switch it up a little bit, and by using the improved UAV, that also gives me a sense of where any enemy mechs might be coming from, so that I can kind of get a sense as to where I might need to, refocus and focus my fire. So that's the reason why I decided to go with these consumables. Obviously, you can mix and match if you want to go with, I decided not to go with a missile cooldown because there's only one of them as opposed to 4 medium lasers or, 3 UAC 5s, which I decided to focus on for the cooldowns. And you could even go with an airstrike if you'd rather, or you could switch out the target info gathering with advanced seismic sensor. Those are pretty much the main differences that I would say you would want to look at if you're actually going to take this mech out there on the battlefield with this particular build. So without further ado, I think it's time for us to hop onto the battlefield for one round of awesome gameplay. Hopefully we get the brand new, reorganized, redone map of Crimson Strait. So hopefully we do. If we do, that would be awesome. So we'll have to see what we get, but let's hop into the queue now and see what kind of damage we can do. Well, here we go, guys. We happen to get the brand new redone map of Crimson Strait. Certainly excited to see how they optimize this map a little bit more than they had before. As you can see from the little mini-map down there in the bottom right corner, it did look like it was obviously optimized a lot more for detail. And first of all, let's just admire the entire look of this cockpit. It's like just a glass orb. You could see through the bottom of your feet that you could tell that this mech's intention for the cockpit really was to have the maximum amount of window space or clear view that you possibly could have. So that's pretty cool, but certainly first impressions of this map, I'm actually pretty impressed. They did improve the details of it. I know it is dusk, so I'm sure that because they factored in the time of day and everything now, that it probably looks a little different during the daytime and everything, but first impressions are pretty impressive, so I do have to take that into consideration when judging this. We're going to go through the typical tunnel that you'll see. We are on the far side of the map. We're playing domination, so we do need to get in that circle rather quickly. Now, if you look at how my weapons are grouped, I have them set up where I have the 3 medium lasers on my arm grouped together because I know that those can pitch up and down beyond the normal field of view of my torsos. And then I placed a medium laser in my head and the SRM-4 together. They both have the same range on them, so you know I'm pretty sure if I fire one, I'll happen to hit the other, you know, or I'll be able to shoot with the other as well. And then I have the UACs, 2 UACs grouped together, and then the one other UAC grouped with my last button. I have 4 groupings of weapons, and then I have my 2 module slots. Now we're taking some trade fire from a distance, so we're just gonna hang out here. And it looks like a couple of them are getting aggressive. That's looks like a gen or a light mech running around. But we have something that has come down underneath with us right from the get-go. So we're gonna have to keep our eyes peeled for him. And yeah, it's a king crab. For some reason, I have no idea. No, that's a centurion, but there's a king crab that I also saw blink on the screen as well. Unfortunately, all of our weapons jammed there. And there he is. There's the king crab. So we had our target on the centurion originally, but here comes the king crab that I was originally looking at. And it looks like he's just going straight for one of our friends that dropped down. And he is going to go down rather quickly. And we do have a couple other mechs that seem to be pretty aggressive in where they're taking their stance. All kind of sitting down low with us, but we do have to be careful of this window right here. So what's next to me to my left is the ramp that everyone likes to hang out on. We have a couple assault mechs, looks like a stalker and maybe something else back there with him. Kind of putting down some suppression fire, making sure that we don't advance and kind of take these guys around the corner by surprise. We have another Cyclops around this corner. Maybe we can get some shots down on him if we decide to get aggressive, but we're going to have to be really careful. I'm sure that there's more than one, so it's pretty much going to be a peek and dip in, dip out kind of situation. And there we go. Yeah, we're going to get some shots off. Back up a little bit. Hopefully lure him underneath where the rest of our team can help us out. And this Jenner, man, he's a little, there we go. Got a couple of our ballistic shots down on him. That's what I was looking for. And again, getting pinged from the side with those, with the assault mechs that are climbing up the far ramp. And we're just going to light up this stalker if he's just going to chill there.
Nab that Nova.
He's behind a block. So we do have the Cyclops that's next to us. And he's cored at this point. Not really much to worry about. And this Thunderbolt. Wow, very aggressive. Top dog coming into play here. I need to get some targeting information on him. But he looks like he's going to go down pretty quick. Just going to put in the focus fire on him. Yeah, here he goes. Okay. And we're going to overheat probably. But we're going to go for it. Ah. Okay, that kind of stunk that we overheated. But it's all right. The rest of my team kind of cleaned up on him. But man, this thing is an absolute blast to use, and I'm gonna have to keep my heat management under control here. It's a lot of fun, but we do have to manage it a little more effective, because if that goes out in the open, we're gonna get kind of screwed over here. Now it looks like there's a Hunchback 2C out in the open. We're gonna take off some components on this guy. Yeah, he's losing half or almost half of his loadout at this point. Gonna keep an eye on him, make sure he's not peeking, but he's cored at this point, so he's kind of limited in his use out there on the battlefield. Again, throwing down some fire on him, and he is definitely not feeling good. Gonna pop around this corner in case there are any other targets, and we have a Mad Dog. We're gonna put in some UAC fire. If we happen to run out of UAC fire, so be it, but it looks like we got a weapon jam. We're gonna back up a little bit, and maybe, just maybe, we can land these last few shots on this guy. Okay, we hit did we hit him? I'm not sure if we hit him. Let's try one more time. We have 3 rounds. Oh, yes! Can you believe that? The last 3 rounds of UAC ammo, and we happen to get the kill. That was absolutely amazing. And now we don't have anything left in our right torso because we are out of UAC ammo. So if we lose that torso, oh, yeah, we lost it. It's not that big of a loss, though, because all we had left were those 2 medium lasers anyway. But now we have our backup weapons. We have a medium laser in our left arm and a medium laser in our head, along with an SRM-4 in our center torso. And we're going to go in on this, looks like an assault mech. I believe it's that stalker from the beginning. Peekaboo! Hello! Yep, it's him. And he is cored, taking off his torso. And now it's just his center torso. We gotta get this guy. No, don't you hide, don't you? Oh my gosh. Come on, come on. Peek back out. Yes! Yes, we got the kill. Man, that guy was plaguing me all match, and we finally got the kill on him. One guy left, though. Probably another assault, if I had to guess. If he's in the back, long-range weapon. Yeah, there he is. Another stalker. Wow. Man, what is with it? Apart from the Cyclops, all I saw were stalkers out there today. But hopefully, we're going to need some help from our team. And it looks like we do have a light mech behind him. Getting some focus fire from long range. Come on, get the kill in there. He's cored up one more time. Yes! Oh my gosh. We actually got the final kill for the round with our backup weapons. Almost out of SRM ammo. All we had left were 2 medium lasers otherwise. Oh my gosh, 3 kills, 5 assists, 930 damage. Wow, I'm going to have to readjust my, common perception of taking an assault mech out there on the battlefield. That was an absolute blast. Topping the leaderboards. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. But let's go back to the garage for some final thoughts. Alrighty guys, so with that round of gameplay in the books now, we're going to close with some final thoughts and just give you guys a little bit of a suggestion as to whether or not you should actually go out and get this mech for yourselves if you haven't already. Now, because of this mech's uniqueness and how, it does have those 4 ballistic hardpoints, it does have unique positioning of the hardpoints. Now, I think it actually is worth getting, and because of the lore, if you guys aren't familiar with the lore, I will link you to another channel in which his name is George Loadout. He actually does some commentary about the lore of Sleipnir. So, if you want to actually check that out, it's pretty awesome to read back and listen to that as well. And it kind of gets you in the mode of like you kind of want to be in the cockpit of this thing, and it really is a fun mech overall, especially with as I said, the positioning of these hard points. If you really like using ballistic weapons, I can honestly say from first glance, this is definitely an awesome mech to take into consideration. Now, it doesn't have a huge quirk list, which kind of goes against it, but if you can look past that and you focus more on the fact that this thing does have the hard points for, the type of playstyle that you want to use, it does have some high mounts on there for the ballistics and everything, and it does deal a solid punch. I mean, you could, this obviously as it being the first day, there's still a lot of tinkering and tampering that I want to do with this thing before I come up with, maybe another build that actually works even better than this one. I'm not quite sure, but, at first glance, this is what I placed on it, and I had an absolute blast using it, and it was a ton of fun to actually, pilot an assault and take out something that I really, really wanted to deal some hurt with. And, being an Inner Sphere 90-ton assault mech, this thing, it's very unique. Let's put it that way. It's a very, very unique mech, and given the hard points and everything, and the positioning of them, as I constantly keep saying to you guys, I actually would go out and purchase this as an add-on. So that's just my personal opinion on this particular variant in and of itself. Because of the fact that this is the only variant you can actually utilize that left torso for ballistics, which to me is pretty awesome. It definitely gives it a unique flair, and it just, I don't know. First glance, it's just a cool mech overall, and having listened to the lore beforehand, knowing that I'm going to be going into this video, giving you, the round of gameplay in this iconic mech, this iconic hero itself. The paint scheme, I mean, is pretty sweet itself, just looking at it from that perspective. But, yeah, I really, really enjoyed taking this mech out there on the battlefield for you guys. So, might have actually sparked me for some interest in, giving some more content on assaults. So, you might see some more assault gameplay coming up rather soon, rather than later. So, definitely keep all that stuff in mind. If this isn't your type of style of play with ballistics, and coupling with short to mid range, then I don't think I would go for it. Only if you really like using DACA and you want something that's unique out there on the battlefield that I haven't seen as much. I see a lot of people taking out more of like I believe it's the 10Q with the 7 missile hard points. So, if that's more of your playstyle, obviously go for more of a basic package. But if you really want something that caters towards, ballistics, high mounts, unique positioning of those hard points, and you know, kind of starting with a blank slate. You know, there's nothing really from the quirk list that would make you, you know, go either way with a particular build on this thing. And there are pros and cons to everything, as I mentioned before, with that XL engine versus standard engine, so on and so forth. So with that all being said, I'm going to close off this video just saying that I had an absolute blast with this thing. Definitely some more to mess around with and see exactly what it is that I like to take out there with this thing. But for right now, this is the best build for me, and I'm going to keep messing with it and see if that continues to be the case. But for now, I had a ton of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, become royal today if you haven't already, and leave a comment down in the section below if you enjoyed the video. You can also leave a like on it or a dislike, whichever you prefer. I prefer, you know, just any kind of honest feedback that you guys can give. I really do appreciate it. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care, guys. Well, how about a second round, guys, on my favorite map, HPG Manifolds. That first round was absolutely fantastic, and I said to myself, you know what, I'm having so much fun, especially given this weight class. I am not very good with assaults, as you guys probably already realize, but I had such a great time with that first round, especially get that long-range kill from, you know, from distance on that hunchback. You know, I had very limited ammo left, and I had to make sure that my shots counted, and that was absolutely fantastic that it did. And, you know, ultimately closing out the round, you know, by killing both of those stalkers, I couldn't have asked for much more. I had an absolute blast in this thing. It's very, very tanky, a lot of fun to use. I'm kind of in love with the Sleipnir. I mean, obviously it's, you know, you do have to pay a little extra to get the bonus mech here, but definitely putting those 4 ballistics to good use. Only one that could fit this kind of loadout. And we're going to whip around the corner here. Getting a little targeted there, but we're going to group up with the rest of the team, obviously with 58 kph to work with. We're not the fastest mech out there on the battlefield, but, you know, we're still going to make up for it with firepower. So hopefully if we could group up with them and put down some suppression fire, help the rest of our team get into a more beneficial position for us to capitalize on. That's what we're looking for here. So it takes us a little while to get up the ramp, too. It looks like we got another Cyclops with us, obviously, because it is the first day. And I was going to peek up here just a quick second just to see what we have to work with. That guy missed me, thankfully, with those 2 PCs, so I don't have to worry about, you know, taking damage from there.
Oh no, too many Cyclops.
What? I have no idea what that guy just said. But we're going to pop around this corner. It looks like we have some focus fire with a Warhammer, a Griffin, and a couple guys that are going up top on the platform. That'll give us a great firing line. Yeah, we're going to take some shots down on a couple of these guys running across. That Mad Dog, like, he was running pretty fast, so we didn't actually get a hit on him. But there are still some mechs that are chilling in the back there, kind of distracted by a couple of the mechs that we have out on our flank. Gave us a great opportunity to at least get a couple shots in. New target. And now it looks like we're pushing up on the ramp. That's exactly what I was hoping we would do. And hopefully we could take out this Battlemaster. He is just chilling back there trying to get some long-range fire in there, and you're not going to be able to hide behind that platform, buddy. I can see you, and I can get some shots in on you. Absolutely fantastic. We got the kill. New target acquired. Oh, it's great to get out an assault mech that early on. And a couple other very aggressive mechs. Wow, these guys are really, you know, trying to take it to us right here from the beginning, but we are absolutely suppressing them down, confining them to pretty much a certain quadrant on the map here. Now, I need to be, you know, conscientious of the focus fire, not going to take too many shots with guys kind of standing in front. But that's totally fine, dipping out of the way of those missiles, even with only 58 kph to work with. Again, just putting down more and more suppression fire on these guys is what we're looking to do. And as you can see, we're getting some help from the artillery with the lerms. Cannot hit him with the UAX, that guy dipping down underneath because of our mounted weapons and our torsos, but definitely going to be able to put down some more fire on this guy with the UAX. And these guys off to the flank even are aggressive. So we're able to put down at least some more ballistic fire on them. 5 points per slug every time I fire off these UAC 5. So you can obviously imagine that the damage is going to add up. Not really taking too much damage even because we have so much consolidated focused fire that these guys just do not want to be in the way of anything. Now I'm gonna get a little bit more aggressive here. I could see that my team is behind me. I'll probably take a little bit of fire here because I have a feeling that a lot of them are over here. And we have an assault that's just chilling down there. We're gonna get some shots in his back, hopefully core him up a little bit. And I'm getting hit from my left. I lost my left arm, which only amounts to losing 1 medium laser. Not too bad. But this guy looks like he's gonna come after me now. Excellent job. I got some help from my team. Got one of the guys out of the way. This Banshee looks like he's gonna take some fire. And there we go. Took down the Zeus off to my left. Hopefully we can finally get this Banshee out of the way. It looks like my team is finally moving in with me. This Urban Mech, what the heck is he doing out over here? Not really sure where he's going. We'll have to worry about him, but first we have to take out this Banshee because that is the primary threat, and we got the kill. Excellent, excellent. Now let's take out this Hunchy. Looks like the missile boat Hunchy 2C. And we got another kill. Yes. Oh my gosh. And there goes the Mad Dog. Wow. Wow. Did that escalate quickly? This Irby, he's hanging under the platform. So in case he comes out this side, I'm going to be here waiting for him. But looks like he's going to go on that side. Hopefully my team can finalize this last kill and secure it. Just in case. Yeah, he's gonna go. There we go. End of the second round. Wow. 2 awesome matches. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making it. Wow, I really have to re-alter my perception on assault mechs. That was an absolute blast. 3 kills, 7 assists, 689 damage, topping off the leaderboards. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.